I'll be easy with it. My name is Jonathan Cox. I'm a DBA/dev for a company called Frontier Tubular Solutions here in Oklahoma City. Don't really belong anywhere near a SQL database, but they have let me continue to do it year in and year out for 10 years, so I'm pretty happy with it. Today I'm going to kind of walk you guys through something I saw just a couple of weeks ago that I didn't think would be of any use, but it is kind of of use. And it's a linked server using Microsoft Excel documents. Does anybody know what a linked server is? Okay, so in SQL, linked server is like, for example, you have two SQL servers and you have data on server A and you have data on server B, and you need to be able to get data from server B into server data A. Well, instead of running like an integration package to move that data continuously across the network, you could use what Microsoft calls a linked server. So basically the two are kind of neighbors and they can just kind of reach out and talk to each other over kind of some convoluted connection string and some long database names in your from statements and within SQL. We were at GPUG, which is like a conference for accountants in Microsoft Dynamics. And they had linked in some Excel documents, and I was like, what? I didn't even know it was a thing that you could do. So I found it was pretty interesting, so I sat down and just said, I want to know how to do that. I've since then kind of like backed off of it because I'm like, I couldn't really find a good use case for it. And then finally it dawned on me, one of the real good use cases for it would be, we purchased a company that had a different inventory system than we did. So instead of sitting down to take the time for me to try to create a table, map out all the data types to their inventory to try to bring it over into our inventory, I said, well, why can't I just use this Excel document that they've got and just run my reports off of that until we can finally sit down and go, you know what, hey, let's make this a thing and actually import the data in a finalized state. That way I didn't have to continually update that information, especially if they had something wrong in their inventory system. I didn't want to bring bad data into our good data. So that was probably the only really good use case I could see for something like this, because with an Excel document, you're going to the disk when you query the document, so it's going to be slow. You're not going to be able to load it all into memory. So I thought I'd just walk you guys through what that looks like here. So first things we're going to do is we're going to get connected up here. They've got a couple of things that you need to have. I forgot my slide deck, so this is kind of as I go, or else I would have this up. But you'll be able to find it at my blog, which is at jonathanpeacox.com. I'll have this up so you guys can grab it. So they want you to, the first thing you have to do is execute these two stored procedures right here. Basically what these do is these enable the Access database engine to make your connection to your linked document within Excel. Okay, and we're going to go. So, okie dokie. Next thing you're going to do is we're going to create the linked server. Now, you can do it one of two ways. You can code it out. It's kind of a really lengthy process that looks something like this guy right here. I think it's like 35 lines is what Microsoft put it at, but they list every single possible option that you can get with this guy. But there's an easier way to do it, but for simplicity, or for my sake, I'll just go ahead and run it like this. Go. Come over here, go down to server objects, linked servers, and I've got my linked server. I call this guy gas because basically what my Excel document is a list of diesel prices for every year since 1994. It was a really good data set to work with. If you ever want to work with dates and times, you can get it from the EIA.gov website, completely free. Really fun to work with. I'm horrible with dates and time in SQL, so this is my like learning database that I use for all that. All so first thing we want to do, so now we've got our Excel document, our link server created, which actually talks to our Excel workbook. I thought. All right. Well, actually, let's just make sure my code runs. Okay. Oh, hello. Oh. Did I miss something here? Yeah, no, I should be fine. I promise you I demoed this code before I left. Yeah, that's a good idea. It didn't. Oh. Unspecified error. Thanks, Microsoft. It's beautiful, right? This is how it goes in production too, guys, by the way. All right, so you know what? Let's just assume that maybe I have something in my SQL code wrong, so we'll do this the hard way, right? Yeah, I want to delete it. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll just do it through the GUI. This is what I get when this is why I don't ever run live code, is because this happens every single time. All right, so we're going to come over here from within SQL Management Studio, do new link server. Going to give this guy a name, call it gas. From here, you have to select the Access Database Engine. Next up, we're going to give this guy a product name. This will be Excel. Next part, and this part took me a little bit because I got the directory along. When I tried to do this off of a computer that wasn't the actual SQL Server, the pathing information is relative to the SQL Server. So in other words, if the Excel document's on your laptop, you need to also make sure that the Excel document has a copy that resides on the server. If not, the two don't see each other, even though you're connected via SSMS. I had to do this two or three times. I was like, why? It's there, I know it. And then I was like, oh, wait, it's not on the SQL Server. Hello? So, all right, so linked.
Since this uses the Access database engine, do you actually have to have Microsoft Access installed?
I don't know if you have to have Access installed or not. I know that I have Excel installed on this. I have not tried this in a production database that didn't have Access, or doesn't, that does have Access installed that I know of. So I don't think you do. But you would have to have the what is it? Right. They call it the Access Database Engine, like SDK, I think, installed on server. And I had it all defined in my slides. This is why I was like.
I think it also matters on whether it's 32 or 64 bit based on what the system's also set. You want to make sure that the trial matches all the warehouse columns.
Oh, hello. Try this one more time. just because I'm a stickler. All right, so we'll do this one more time, right? Right click. I'm gonna go say new link server. Odds are I probably had the directory wrong. It happens all the time. I transpose stuff all the time. So, all right, so sorry about that. So, and I have a JPEG of what that dialog box looks like because, like I said, in the slides I did it the easy way because a lot of people don't use, like, they don't want to script out all the verbiage to make that link. They just, you want a window that you can type in some basic information, hit next, and go. All right, so now let's get down here and grab some information. It's kind of cool because SQL treats it basically like it would any other table. You can do joins to it if you want to, union statements if you're going to go across multiple worksheets for, say, year-over-year data, if you will. So basically, this is kind of just a generic select statement that doesn't run. Why? Yeah, see, I thought so, but no. Because it's going to look identical to this guy right here. It's the exact same code. I can almost promise you. Yeah, and the 3 dots stood out, like that kind of weirded me out. I didn't find out what that's for, and I couldn't find anything in books online.
So dots basically, when you have that, it goes, the first item is your link server name, which is what you're calling gas. The next is the database name, which doesn't have one, so you can use dot, or it goes to whatever the default is then. And the next is your default, which would be your schema, like DBO is your next schema. And then next is the table name. So it goes server name, database name, schema name, table name. And if you use a dot, where it defaults to the default, like DBO or the.
Gotcha. So it's just like when I log into SQL, I can just hit dot and then hit connect, and then it says okay. So, well, that's just weird that I guess they just saved you a whole bunch of typing. Essentially, is what they're doing right here instead of me typing out a fully qualified name.
You can do the same thing with select sticker for a regular database, like from table name or from database name dot table name or dot table name and skip the schema.
Really? Wow. I learned. See, I should be sitting down there, and you should be out here. I learned something new. I did not know that. All right, well, let's see if my other statements will actually work. In the slide deck, this is so much more streamlined. Like,
So if you go to tool options, you can actually make the font at the top.
You got it. In the left corner, right above results. Is that a 100%? Actually increase the size of that.
Yes, you can.
oh, sorry, can we see?
Yes, you can.
All right, should I zoom in a little bit more?
I'll make that a little bigger.
My eyes are bad.
There we go.
All right. So this is just kind of one of my a basic select statement from this. Again, the underlying data source is an actual Microsoft Excel document with all the gas prices. So one of the things I do is alias my table or my column names. That way they become more friendly. I can root out characters and things that I don't want in there. So as you can see, basically I've done as number 2 is our East Coast pads, our West Coast pads, so on and so on, and it returns all the data from the entire workbook. Moving on, I think my next code. Using date part functions within an Excel document because we want to be able to say maybe what quarter is that in, or what year, or what month. Bring that over, paste that guy in. So like I said, we're doing the date, break that down. So as you can see, diesel back in 1994 was pretty cheap. It's $1.06 a gallon, something like that. Not bad. I miss those days. Diesel's expensive, but it's starting to creep back up there. Let's see, what else can we do with it? Say you needed to filter the data out. Again, basically just with a simple where clause, right? Okay, and so basically what we're saying is, I want you to return all the results from within this Excel document where the price or the dollar per gallon is greater than $2 a gallon, and we're going to order that basically by our date. There we go. And so it's basically returning all the result values back from that Excel document where they're, greater than $2, and we're ordering it by year, in descending, starting with the most recent dates. Right, huh? Yeah, exactly. So another thing you can do is, for example, if your worksheet's got more than one copy of the data and you don't really want to go through that whole process of recreating another link server, you don't have to do it per worksheet within the Excel document. You can literally just simply come over here and change that value. And it returns it back again. So some really cool stuff you can do with this. You can even go as far as to insert and update records within the Excel document. If you're going to go that route, I would question why you wouldn't just bring it all into SQL anyway and just treat it as a normal table, especially with a SQL, was it Management Studio 17.3 does a new flat file import that's super easy to work through. I love it to death. It's my second new favorite tool outside of Visual Studio Code. Saves me a lot of time and a lot of headache working with accounting people. So if you don't have that access or you don't have that luxury, this is probably the second best thing you're going to get to it. Is literally working with Excel documents. Now I don't know how many DBAs, if there's like a hard limit where they say, we don't want a whole lot of these in our server because they don't want to maintain security. They don't want to maintain copies of those Excel documents. I know I would be pretty skeptical about how many I would let and what kind of use cases we would bring them in. But nonetheless, I thought it was fairly simple to do and kind of fun. So that's that, I think. Yes, sir.
If the cell on the spreadsheet contains the formula, if we're using the results that are going to show the formula or the value?
The question is if there is a formula in the cell, what the result sets will look like with that. I don't know the answer to that. We didn't, and during our testing, I didn't run across anything that had formulas in it that I would bring in. I would suspect that it would probably just give you the formula, because SQL wouldn't know to calculate those values when it brought it in, like a calculated, value or anything like that. It would just give, here's your Excel value.
I would assume the opposite.
You think it would actually calculate it?
I think it might actually calculate it since Microsoft tends to play well with Microsoft.
Well, Let's see if we can test that theory out. Right? Because my codes work so well today, right?
I'll just assume that the link server is never using the raw data. It's gonna be smart enough to know Excel specifically.
It's using the engine though, the engine should know.
It should, you're right. I'm curious.
Are we adding in the formula?
Yeah,
I just have this fear that like link server hasn't been updated since like 2008, and it's still the same base model. They may not have made any changes to kind of teach it things. And that's where I was the restriction. I can see a cable.
All right, so we've added basically just an equals here. This cell equals this value right here. So we know that the actual value is equal C2, but the actual, what Excel tells us is that basically it's $1.19 a gallon or $1.11 a gallon. So we've saved this guy.
So maybe apply that to multiple rows.
I'm actually hoping it gives me the number. I'm really hoping it gives the number, not the number.
And just to make sure that we're getting really good values, right?
Now this is sheet number 2, just
All right.
did you add a new column or just change the existing?
I just changed the existing column. All right, so let's go. And so the column you're going to be looking for is what? Go.
So you added a new sheet for it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering during the link server creation, it didn't recognize the new sheet.
It should automatically. Actually, you know what? Why don't we just come over here and go? Can we refresh SMS? Maybe it doesn't like the new.
Script out the select statement?
Yeah.
I think it did that one time. I would confirm equal C is the third sheet.
If I could get. It does not like that at all, does it?
That's what I would do. Right. And then what above it?
I'll go back over here and get my code again.
But I'm not even executing.
No, it absolutely hates this thing. No, it liked one for the moment. Yeah, no, it doesn't like it.
You may have to recreate the database.
Totally breaks it. Yeah. Well, if that's the case, let's go ahead and just confirm something though, because I do want to see it, right? we're gonna go.
See, if we don't answer this now, we're just gonna have to do this at home all on our own.
Yeah. It does, and we said that was what? 1, 2, 3. Yes.
We're all showing data, nothing's showing formula.
So we've copied this way down. No, did it not?
Maybe when you do the formula, the other target one.
Yeah.
So what's the results all showing?
Oh, hello. Guys, so this is a question. This is one of those deals where the order by really matters. So let's go ahead and just get rid of that. And now we're going to see those values. I lied?
So for string's sake, we can go ahead and wrap up this and then we can continue